Right, come on in, big man. You said about it after the result against Spurs the other day. You said, is Gary O'Neill top 6 manager in the Premier League? Don't get me wrong, he did a great job at Bournemouth and was obviously really unlucky to not be given the opportunity to continue that journey. Then he gets obviously the opportunity to go over to Wolves after they sacked their manager. And he's been going under the radar. How much of a good job he's been doing. Is he top 6 manager in the league though? The question is, with the likes of Pep, Klopp, Arteta, Poch, De Zerbi, Ange, Emery, Ten Hag, Eddie Howe. Go on then, mate. Convince me. Sell me the dream.
Top 6? I think it's top 3.
You think it's top 3?
Hear me out.
Top 3.
Hear me out. Hear me out.
Come on then. Come on then.
I'll get pelters for this, but he walked into a Bournemouth job, which was his first proper job, and he was absolutely fantastic. They were safe by 3 games out, was it?
Yeah, easy. They were on holiday, 4 or 5 games back,
unimaginable. Everyone said there was cert to go down at Christmas, right? Gets sacked mad like that. I still can't get over that decision. Do you remember when we spoke about it when I was baffled? I don't get it. Obviously out of a job, goes into Wolves. I think he was in for the first game, but he'd only just a few days before because the manager fell out with him, didn't he?
I think he basically said, "I'm leaving because you're not backing me."
So he's had 2 jobs. He's not had a proper transfer window or a pre-season to get his players ready and buy the players he wants. And he's gone into both teams and he's made a massive impact. He kept Bournemouth up easily, and then Wolves, they started shockingly, but they were playing well, weren't they? Remember the United game?
Well, to be fair,
they were very unlucky.
Well, if you look at some of the VAR decisions Wolves have had, they're arguably on the back end of the worst calls.
And you remember that United game? They battered out United, didn't they? And they've somehow come down with a 1-0 loss. They've been very unlucky this season.
They were lucky against you as well.
Yeah, and now finally they're starting to get the results.
Newcastle penalty should have never been given.
I think like a manager is more your obviously your tactics, your coaching, but also your man management. And if whether he could do that at a big club like a Klopp or a Pep, I don't know. But I think purely as like a tactician and a coach, improving what he's got, he is pound for pound one of the best. He's up there. Like, you can't deny that.
I mean, don't get me wrong.
He hasn't added players.
I'm not denying it. And I appreciate. We had to have a conversation on it because Wolves are doing really well. Like you said, they've been really unlucky with some of the results they've had. And I mean, the closest comparison English was at Bournemouth. Eddie Howe. Look at the great job he did last season with Newcastle. So there's nothing to say. And obviously, as an Englishman yourself, like you want to see a fellow Englishman do well, especially in the Premier League.
Do you know what? I thought that the other day.
But
England manager. I think it's a possibility in the future.
Well, in the
his next job.
No.
Not his. It would take a bit of.
His next job. Not his fourth job.
No. A few things would have to go his way. I think he'd get a bigger job after this.
Yeah.
And then if the England manager who's in then flops, then he'd go in. Whereas if the England manager who goes next does well, then obviously he won't. But I can't. But so a few things have to fall into place. But I could see him being an England manager one day.
Yeah, but
I just think he's so good tactically. Like you see,
he did play great football
yesterday. He's what Sarabia on. He scored a goal and an assist within 10 minutes.
Oh mate, that finish by the way.
Mate, he gets his tactics right. He gets his team so organised. He gets them pressing so well, and he doesn't just press them. He presses the right players.
I don't know if you watched it. To be fair,
think he's brilliant.
It must have been about a month or so ago. He was on. I think he was on Monday night.
Yeah. You can just see how
the way he spoke. I was like,
oh yeah, exactly.
It's just one of them guys. Obviously, when they start speaking, you just listen. Like, he's talking absolute sense,
you just
mate.
know,
and you're like, well, he clearly knows what he's talking about.
This is what I'm saying. He's brilliant. I honestly think he will get a big job.
Well, this
off
is
the
it.
back of this. It keep them up. I think they finished.
You'd argue that
they finished 10th, 11th,
we spoke about it before. The top 9's almost set in stone. There's that one position we sort of said Brentford's got the 10th, and then the bottom 10 is almost predictable. You'd argue he could be that. He could get that 10th spot if not push on. Brighton struggling.
Yeah, no, yeah.
I
think 10th, 11th for them would be unreal. Well, they'll be safe with 6 games to spare, 7 games to spare easily.
In all honesty, the question being, is he one of the top 6 managers in the Premier League? You can't necessarily have that discussion till he's at a top 6 team.
No, I get that
because if you take Pep out, swap him and Pep over at Wolves, does Pep do as good of a job? You don't know.
No chance. This is why I'm saying.
You don't know, do you? You can't really have the argument.
I just don't think he does. Pep's a really good example because he's only ever, obviously, unbelievable manager.
Class players.
He's only ever had the players he wants.
Yeah.
Like he hasn't done it so much in recent years, but you look years ago. Remember when they had they brought a few fullbacks and they were for like 50 million. They were rubbish. He just went out and got another one.
Yeah.
He went and got Cancelo or whoever it was.
Yeah.
Like he could spend until he got it right.
No.
Gary O'Neill hasn't spent. He hasn't bought any players. There are not his players.
Yeah.
He hasn't chosen these players.
Well, that's the
Pep
thing.
couldn't walk into Wolves and go, well, look, not even Wolves. Pep couldn't walk into, I don't know, Tottenham and do what Gary O'Neill does walking into Wolves.
You just don't know, though.
Because they're not his players.
I mean, you got to give credit where credit's due. Like I said, he done a great job at Bournemouth. Unbelievable. It was crazy that they got rid of him and then backed the new manager. And they've been struggling. Come into Wolves, instant impact, like you said, against the Man. It was Man U the first game, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Instant impact. They all over him. Obviously, Man United a bit up and down the season, but they've continued that form across the board.
I don't even know where they are in the league. Where are they?
They're 12th, I think.
12th. They're 12th now.
Yeah, that's the thing. Imagine them VAR decisions didn't go against
Yeah,
them.
mate.
They're knocking on.
I'm going to
they're
say it,
knocking
mate. I'm going to say it,
League,
mate. Gary O'Neill is the best manager, pound for pound, in the Premier League.
Well,
Saying it. He's
that's it. No, mate, it's a fair
Best manager in
argument.
the
I
league.
like it. Do you
Best
know what?
manager.
I like it.
He's better than Klopp. I'm giving him over Klopp. I am doing it. I love
Absolute
Klopp.
waffle, mate.
He's better than Klopp. Gary O'Neill.
It's still
is
too
a better
early.
manager.
It's still too early to call.
than Jurgen Klopp.
But it'd be interesting to see where they finish up at the end of the season.
Come back to this in May.
And what they do. Does the chairman back him? Right, let us know in the comments then, guys. Where do you think Wolves will finish in the season? And where do you rate Gary O'Neill in terms of all the Premier League managers? I'm saying top 10. You're saying top 3.
10. That's an absolute muggery.
Sitting on the fence of that one. But yeah, make sure you like and subscribe, and we shall see you in the next one.